Happy Halloween, guys! So, I had a different video in mind, but it's Halloween. We're sticking with the theme. And we're going to be talking ghosty stories. As Jehovah's Witnesses, we kind of had to believe in demons. But I feel like the ghosts were optional, but the demons were not. Which it all just sounds really weird to me when I say that. But yeah, that's the world we were raised in. And when I moved into my apartment, was the first time I really experienced anything that I couldn't really deny. I mean, it got to the point where it didn't even faze me because so much stuff was going on. Like, even now, like, I hear a weird noise in the house, or I hear a door open and I'm the only one home. Like, as long as it sounded like an interior door, like, man, I'm good. Because I got so used to this. So, believe it or not, is up to you. Like, if you can't tell by my highly polished videos, like, your approval of what I have to share isn't necessarily something I worry about. Like, I'm just trying to be open and honest, and this is kind of a cathartic way for me to raise awareness, share ideas, like, just feel like part of a solution in a very popular way. But right now it's Halloween. We're going with that. So we'll start from like the least believable onward. And then maybe down the line when we get to the really scary one, like the part that was scary, you can tell me what you think it was. So, least believable. I walked into my room one time, turned around, saw the reflection of myself in the window, and there was this dude standing next to me with like an overgrown crew cut and a vest, and I think he had like a burgundy shirt on. I don't know. It looked like he might have like ridden bikes or something, but he had on a vest. And he had like this windswept, overgrown crew cut look. I got scared, yelled for my friends in the living room, and turned around and nobody was there. Like, it startled me so much, I called my friends first and there was nobody there. It never happened again. The other one, least believable, number 2. And we were all sitting there watching TV one night. And on the corner of the wall next to the TV, you could see these like little fingerprints like wrapped around the corner. And they would just kind of appear. These smudgy, black, like they played with ashes fingerprints. And we all went dead silent, like joking around and everything, down to like dead silent. And I'm like, do you? And my friend Jay's like, no, you're not crazy. I see that. Okay, as long as you see that too. And then we went back to watching TV. All of us. And nobody would say another word about it. That was the least of our worries because things went on from there. So, getting into like the next thing. It was always cold in my room. The first summer there, it wasn't bad. Like, the air conditioning and everything was like great. Everything worked. Everything was great. And, I think I moved in there in like May or June or something. But when we got into the first winter, it was cold. Like 50 degrees in that room. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm like, there has to be something with this insulation that is not right. But I'm like, you know what? I hate it when my room's cold. I cranked up the heater on my waterbed to the highest temperature and put a whole bunch of blankets over top of me and not between me and the bed. And I'm like, we'll just deal. Because this summer, when I got the air conditioner cranking for all my friends, I can always sleep in my room and it's never going to be cold because the insulation is bad and that warm air is going to get in, and I can keep the part of my house comfortable for me and my guests, and then I can sleep where it's warm like I like it. Summer rolls around, still 50 freaking degrees in that room. That bad insulation did not keep that air out. It's still 50 degrees. We started realizing it was just consistently freaking cold. It was like walking into like a wine cooler or something, a giant walk-in wine cooler all the time. And when it got really, really cold, or when you had this horrible, horrible, like overpowering, foreboding terror overcome you, one or the other, sometimes both, is when my closet door would fling open. My closet door opened up to a wall, so that if you opened it too hard, you'd probably like hit the wall with the doorknob. As many times as that door flung open on its own, it never hit a wall. Ever. Like, I had a big, big bedroom and I had a roommate, and like, this roommate moved out over it because it freaked them out so bad. It would get so cold in that room and they'd wake up and that door would fling open. I'd hear them jump up out of their bed and run across the floor and slam that door back shut and then run back to bed. I got so used to it, it didn't faze me. After the first so many times and nothing bad ever happened to that, it just conditioned it didn't faze me after that. But it freaked out my roommate, so they moved out. But that wasn't the only door that would fling open, because my bedroom door would too, and it opened up against a wall as well. And it never hit the wall. One of my friends came to check on me. I wasn't feeling good, so I went to go lay down. They're like, I'm going to go make sure Heather doesn't need anything. Like, we're always here. Yeah, go check on Heather. They went to go check on me. They come up to the door. Whew. They go to like open the door. And the thing flings open. I would believe it that they tried to check and like scare somebody by putting like a piece of fishing line or something you couldn't see. There was no way to put anything that big in there to keep that door from hitting the wall. There was no way to stop it. Like, he went to go open the door. I see his hand still reaching for the doorknob, and the door is flung open and snapped this short of hitting the wall. And his face is just absolutely priceless. Absolutely priceless. He was terrified, and I'm like, I just want to sleep. I didn't experience this one, but a friend of mine that was staying there for the holidays had a razor thrown at her in the shower. The scary one. This one still bugs me. There was something in that place that did not like one friend in particular. And physically harmed them. He would be standing at like they had like an island table, like it's set up higher to be like a bar. I didn't have a bar, but it was there and it was set higher. He'd be sitting there at that table, like talking with everybody. And next thing you know, he'd drop to his knees. Or he'd say something about his back. In a lot of pain. We figured it out, but he would say it was his back. And we'd pick his shirt up to see what was wrong with his back. And we could see, it would look like something with 6 fingers on each hand just like clawed the out of his back. And we'd watch these welts and these scratches come up. Just watch them come up. He's standing there with all of us. And nobody saw anything happen. And we watched these welts come up. And then before the end of the night, it would look like nothing ever happened to his back. It came up and went away so fast. And it was either the 6-digit scratch thing down his back, or it looked like long strips. Like, these aren't the same size. But it looked like somebody took a long strips of leather, like maybe the width of the pencil, and just had like a whole stack of them like this. So it was about that wide. It would look like somebody took a whole strip of these, like 10 rows wide, and whip it across his back. It wouldn't be in a straight line. It would be like about yay long. And it could be a little bit curved or arced or something like that. Or it'd be generally straight. We just never knew. And that would be one of the welts that would come up. That one didn't cut him. But it still hurt him a lot. That was the really only scary one that still bothers me to this day, because I don't know what that was. And it only ever happened to him. So I'm thinking it had either whatever was in my apartment really didn't like him, or he had something that followed him and only acted out in my apartment. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But that was a scary one. I don't like that one. Anywho, that's my experience with. Oh, hold on, one more story. We'll recover ourselves with a funnier one. So I told my friends about the stuff that was happening in my apartment with the razor being thrown at one of my friends when she went to go take a shower, and like the lights turning on and off and doors flinging open and this and that, whatever. They were like, you know what? Put out a pen and a sheet of paper and invite whatever it is to write you a message if they choose to. I'm like, I don't know how that's going to work, but okay, let's do this. So I go and I get this little notebook. I set it out with the pen on top. I have this rickety, old, inherited office chair. It's squeaky, it's junky, it doesn't even have a back to it anymore. It's just one of those flat, thin films of a cushion chair. Just run down piece of junk somebody gave to me for some reason. So I put it on top of that rinky-dink stool. I'm a little bit creeped out by this idea because I know the doors will fling open and that kind of thing. So I close the door. I invite them to write their message. I close my bedroom door. And I go to bed. It's not even 2 minutes later, I heard this rinky-dink little chair spinning. And the pen hit the floor. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm not checking it now. Like, I'll wait until morning and see what it is. No, they didn't write anything. But fun times. Fun times. Anywho, that's my experience with ghost stories. If you have any idea what that 6-digit creature is that scratched my friend, we aren't friends anymore. I mean, we kind of, you grow up and life moves everybody apart. That still bugs the crap out of me. Tell me if you know. That's really the only insight I'm looking for.